You're going to lose the record.
Don't forget your mic buttons. Good evening. I'd like to call to order the September 21st, 2023 meeting of the Fitch-Rona EMS Commission meeting. So first I'd like to do a roll call. So James Roberts.
Here.
Connie Hia.
Here.
Derek Johnson here. Kate Cronin. Brent Kaiser McHenry.
Here.
Dave Lonsdorf.
Here.
Jim Wheeler.
Here.
Sue Luganbull. And Chief. We can go. Any public comments?
I did not have any public comment.
Moving on then to the swearing in and pinning of paramedic Amy Hansen.
All right.
Great.
Just put that in Georgia now.
New system here. So this is what I'm going to read to you. So I'll have you raise your right hand. Make sure I'm not covering up your face. So I, Amy Hansen,
I, Amy Hansen,
as a sworn paramedic of the Fitch-Rona EMS District,
as a sworn paramedic of the Fitch-Rona EMS District,
swear that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
swear that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
discharge the duties of an EMS provider.
discharge the duties of an EMS provider,
And I pledge to carry out these duties to the best of my ability.
and I pledge to carry out these duties to the best of my ability.
I recognize the badge of my position as a symbol of public faith and trust.
I recognize the badge of my position as a symbol of public faith and trust,
And I accept this position so long as I am true to the ethics of the emergency medical services profession.
and I accept this position so long as I am true to the ethics of the emergency medical services profession.
I make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor.
I make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor.
Right, and we'll invite your family.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Swearing in and pinning of EMT intern Ava Montemayor.
So we're going to do the same thing. Just give me like one more step closer. So I'll have you raise your right hand. So I state your name.
I, Ava Montemayor,
As a sworn EMT of the Fitch-Rona EMS District,
as a sworn EMT of the Fitch-Rona EMS District,
swear that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
swear that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
discharge the duties of an EMS provider.
discharge the duties of an EMS provider,
And I pledge to carry out these duties to the best of my ability.
and I pledge to carry out the duties
Recognize the badge of my position as a symbol of public faith and trust.
I recognize the badge of my position as a symbol of public faith and trust,
And I accept this position so long as I am true to the ethics of the emergency medical services profession.
and I accept this position so long as I am true to the ethics of the emergency medical services profession.
I make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor.
I make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor.
Do you want to invite your family up? Right up here. Who is this? Nice to meet you. I'm going to give you this. I totally forgot to grab Bye, thank you.
Moving on to the next agenda item, the review and approval of the August 17th, 2023 minutes that were provided as part of the pre-meeting packet. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Lonsdorf.
A second?
I second. Connie?
Thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the chief's report.
All right, it's popped up on the screen there for you. The usual stuff that we look at is the call volume. They've kind of noted out there that actually August of last month was a record number for us. 440 calls last month, so we've actually never seen that number before. So a huge increase, bringing us still on target for that 5,000 calls for the end of the year. Other things they usually point out to you is, again, I don't know if it's just the record number of calls we had last month, but the mutual aid required year to date, that means that's a time where all of our ambulances were out and we required someone else to come into our district. Jumped significantly last month. I think we added 8 alone for just last month, and I think we're already up to 4 or 5 this month. So the number of times that all 3 trucks are out and we need additional help, we've already exceeded last year by significantly. So yeah, averaging about 13 calls a day between the trucks. Other data that you see there is what you normally see, explaining the aging report. So you will see that hasn't been updated since July. So I shared with you, I think, the last 2 months where our billing company, Three Rivers, Brad had passed away. So we're in the transition now, and we had just met the first time last commission meeting. It's called EMSMC. Of course, I can't remember what it stands for. That's our insurance, the new billing company. We've actually met with them 3 times since then. And Tuesday, both Jeff and I had our one-on-one to talk about the transition. So the plan is to November 1st, we should be completely having our invoices processed out of the new billing company. Their customer representative or our customer representative from Alabama, and then the local representative actually is outside of the Milwaukee area. They came 2 weeks ago, actually came to the station, and we chatted with them. Did share with them, our priorities is exactly this aging issue here. So they did take the 2 steps. We don't want to get farther behind, but they acknowledge that this is a big issue for us. They have dedicated so right now Three Rivers is still billing for us, but the EMSC staff is there at Three Rivers billing for us on their behalf, if that makes any sense. They do actually have 1 person dedicated solely to our account to reduce this. So their goal for us is by the end of the years, right? So we still have a couple more months, is to get that number significantly down. So I did let them know that was a significant concern of ours as a district, as well as mine, to watch this number come down. So I don't have a new aging report because essentially we are in 2 different systems. So as soon as I will hopefully have that an accurate number by next month. You'll see as well. It's actually not in here. It's in a different report. So we had a really normally we bill about $130,000 a month as far as billed out. Normally that's fairly equivalent to what we see as well. Last month they only billed out about $80,000, so significantly less than we've ever seen before, which is to be expected as there was a handful of weeks that didn't get billed out. So I'm being told we will very quickly be in catch up in the next few months here. I will continue to let you know where we're at with that. As far as the cash on hand, we are less than we were last year. That's probably the impact of that. The other thing you'll see that it's not in here is I think it's Fitchburg's portion of our municipal funds didn't get paid until September, so you won't actually see that posted in here. So there's more in there because this only goes through August 31st. Otherwise, financially, we're still fine, even with our run come kind of hitting that lower end there. Fund balances, we have expended our ARPA funds, we have expended our EPIC grant, so that's why you see that being so low there. We have those purchased. Money market is where it usually sits. Our milestone this month is Brandon Ryan, who's at 12 years. Brandon's one of our full-timers. Otherwise, the usual updates. I think I knew last month and shared with you that our ambulance replacements that was supposed to come next year got pushed off another 3 months, so it'll be October of next year where we should see those. We Tuesday had our first meeting with, so the ultrasound we got, the point of care ultrasound was with GE. We had our first training with them on Tuesday of this week. So we're kind of next step in that is to get our group of our docs from UW together to figure out how we're going to roll this out to our staff. And then I shared with you the calls. The shout outs this month. So we had 9 providers actually complete a 4-day technical rescue training with Dr. Spigner, who's one of the the UW consortium docs. He had a couple other docs with him. It happened to be that week in, I think that was the end of August where it was like the 90s and 100-degree days. So it was a big shout out to them that all 9 of them completed that training in that kind of a rough week to be outside. We had Carlos and Austin. Carlos is one of our LTEs. Austin is one of our EMT LTEs. Took an ambulance up to Fitchburg's National Night Out for us. And then every year, it's the Saturday of Labor Day weekend, which is always just kind of rough to find staffing anyways, is the cross-country invitational at the Fitch-Rona High School. It's essentially the first invitational of the high school season, and it's an invitational, so there's roughly 1,500 athletes there, plus families. It's really large. It's very weather dependent on how well that goes. This year it was a little warmer than we like, and we actually had about 20 different patient encounters, of which I think 3 or 4 of them actually did get transported. So it was a shout out then is to Chance. He was the lieutenant on there, kind of heading everything, and then he had 5 other paramedics and EMTs with him from us. So I just wanted to give them a huge shout out. And then Lance and Brady from Fitch-Rona Fire Department were there helping also. So that's going to be my last shout out for this month is that whole team did a really good job, and Chance did a really good job orchestrating that, because it's not like those 20 students come in all at the same time. It's kind of like they get 10 of them in a period of about 5 minutes after every race. So those are my shout outs. I don't have anything to add other than if there's any questions, I guess, specifically about the billing company. So then
Pat, I have a question about just the numbers of the large number in August. You mentioned that with the students, but were any of the other general runs related to heat events in August? It was a really hot month.
Not an excessive amount. I do get that report every day to kind of match up and see where we're at. No. I guess the short answer is we did not see any more than I would say normal. Even of the 20 patient encounters that we had at the cross-country meet, the only 3 that would have generated, I think it was 3 or 5 that were transported, those are the only ones that would have actually generated a call. So that even that record number is not specifically rated to 20 patient contacts. It would have been 5. So it was still just a general community increase in number of calls.
Okay.
Other one to share, the one I usually share with you is the in-house budget, and so we're at 66% through the year, through the end of August. You can see our run revenue. Fortunately, because of that high volume of calls, because of those increased rates, we're actually above our run revenue, which is helping us to kind of absorb this transition in billing companies and the lower revenue that's coming in right now. As I mentioned, the city of Fitchburg, they have paid the second half of their funds. It just didn't post until September, so you won't see it on there. Other wages and benefits that are up there, it's the usual stuff. You'll see our scheduled overtime is at 100% already, but that kind of gets balanced with the unscheduled overtime, whether they get put in the right pots or not. Other thing to remember with the scheduled, and it should actually be more of the unscheduled overtime, is all the Alliant Energy Center shifts. So we had 7 days of CrossFit games. We had 4 days of UGM. We had 5 days of the fair. All of that, if you remember, all of that comes out of that overtime line item. All of that is reimbursed 100% for contracted services. So that's why we tend to see that number. And remember, I added in, it was the $30,000 or $40,000 to kind of accommodate that this year. But if you go up to contracted events up top there, we have contracted $66,000 worth of overtime. So if you kind of put that number in there, we're back down to really where within our normal parameters.
Is Ironman contracted event?
It is not. We do not up staff for the half Ironman. We do add on an additional truck for about 9 hours on Sunday. It is not dedicated to the event. The reason we even up staff it is because it divides the city of Verona in half. Creates some pretty significant response times challenges. So we actually just have an additional crew on there essentially on the other side of the race. We are not dedicated to the events, and I don't even know that we transported anybody from that event. Otherwise we are for total expenses, we're at 69% through the year. At 66% through the year, so our expenditures are a little bit higher than we are through the year, but our run revenue is significantly over. So financially wise, we're still doing okay. Guess that's unless someone's got questions.
Any questions for the chief regarding his report? Nope. So moving on to the chair reports. The Personnel Committee did not meet. Did Finance Committee meet?
No finance.
Got it. Okay, moving on to next agenda item, approval of resolution 2023-04, GASB 54 fund balance.
Sure. As I explain to you every month, right, this is just an accounting thing that says we have a handful of dollars that we can't spend on other than what it is designed for, which is the usual $66,000 in inventory, $57,000 in some odd funds and prepaid expenses. That comes from the audit every year. And then what you saw on the chief's report there, $1,161.19 for FAP expenditures. Again, those are restricted by the state. The $230,537.93 that's sitting in that WISC fund in Milwaukee that is dedicated for sick leave liability, and then the $20,000 for legal fees in contract negotiations. So just says that money has to be spent on that stuff.
Any questions, concerns, comments about that? Do I have a motion to approve?
I will move that. Yeah, lawn store.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Roberts. So all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Moving on to the next one. Review and approval of accounts payable checks authorized by Chief Anderson. The register of checks was provided in the pre-meeting handout. Any questions for the chief? Anything of note? Seeing none. Do I have a motion to approve the accounts payable checks?
I'll make a motion to approve accounts payable.
Second.
I second.
Thank you. And all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. I'm sticking with these notes. I think so we're on to other business, right? So other business. Is there anybody that has anything we missed?
I will bring up that next month is the October meeting, which is based on the intergovernmental agreement, is the annual meeting for the municipalities. So we tend to have that in Verona. It's still the third Thursday of October at 7 p.m. We can discuss we've traditionally held it in Verona. If we want to move it up here, it truly makes no difference. But I guess I would ask that you take that back to your municipal boards. Yes, I'm being told that there's a phenomenal new AV system here in the city council chambers. If you want to have it here, and I am indifferent. It'll be posted on the agenda. If Scott twists my arm, we can have it up here. But so please share with your boards and councils that everyone is invited to that meeting. It tends to go, it's a little bit longer than this. It's just kind of a state of the EMS thing. We go through the budget for the municipalities, where we're at, kind of what the future expectations are. It's largely unattended when there's not a controversial or a controversy to discuss. But that will be next month. If you can bring that back and encourage them to attend. We're still a couple of, I don't want to say hot topics, but I was supposed to meet with the town today, Sarah out in the town, to go over the budget on the town side of things. I don't know how much you've shared with that. With her, Dr. Lonsdorf. She was sick today. I'm actually gone the rest of this week. She is gone the end of next week, but we do have a time to meet. I am coming to do a budget presentation for the Town of Verona board on August 3rd, at the August 3rd board meeting.
Or October 3rd.
October.
Yeah, what is it? August? October.
3rd.
Yes,
Okay.
October 3rd. I will be out there to go through that and answer any questions for them. Otherwise, I have met with all of the finance directors and mayors of Verona and Fitchburg. So the town is the last one to chat with. But save the date for that Thursday in October.
Thank you. Any other business for anybody to bring up to discuss? Do I have an motion to adjourn?
I'll move to
To
adjourn.
adjourn, Roberts.
Second, Lonsdorf.
It's a race. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
All opposed? Nay. Motion carries. Adios. Thank you.